What's up, everybody? My name is Default Dude, and today I'm going to be sharing some of my woes. Currently I'm living in Egypt. Not for very long now, I'm going to be going off to uni soon. So I figured now's good enough time as any to complain. If I sound like I have a woodland creature living in my throat, it's because I am currently sick and recovering from a bad cough. Wow, my voice is coming out croaky. So I don't have a Netflix or a Crunchyroll or any of these other video streaming subscriptions, which means I'm in a very unfortunate position in that if I ever want to watch a film or a TV series that isn't available for free online, or I don't already own on DVD or on a hard drive, then I have to submit myself to the television. And the problem with doing that here is a lot of things are in Arabic. There are English channels, but I have no way of figuring out what films or TV shows are on when. So it's more like a gamble of mayhaps there is something available for me to watch. It's also possible I'm just an idiot because I haven't figured it out. And one of my least favourite things that I've had to endure while watching TV is that here in Egypt there are some rather strict censorship rules that are applied. This actually also applies to going to the cinema. I tried to watch that horror film that came out. I wouldn't say horror. The Witch, you know, the one where it's spelled with 2 V's. I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on, because a lot of that film is very graphic, and there's parts that like directly reference the devil and witches and magic, which is not allowed. There's I think some nudity. I went and rewatched it afterwards. I don't really remember much. Even after I watched it again, didn't really like it. But yeah, I had no idea what was going on in that film because just so much of it was cut. I left halfway through to get a slushie. That's like the only reason I go to the cinema nowadays, really. And when I tried to go back, I accidentally walked into the wrong screening, and I walked into a screening of London Has Fallen, which was around the same time here. And I was only in there for about 30 seconds. I saw a helicopter crash and some people screaming, and I consider those 30 seconds the highlight of my trip to the cinema that day. And as weird as it is, like, they censor some things, and then they just do not care about others. Like, I'll go into the cinema to watch a animated Disney film or something. I think I watched Moana in the cinema at one point. And like, they'll be showing adverts that are suitable for children. Like, using, I don't know, Cars as an example. Like, what if Cars had emotions, and here's a car with a smartphone, or whatever. I haven't watched many of the Cars films, I watched the first one. And then immediately after that, they'll show like a horror ad, and the transition between lighthearted, funny, cars are great, cars have emotions, oh, this car can't compete in the big race, to here's Gorn, this is what your entrails look like. The transition is so fast it gives people whiplash. But the one saving grace, the one thing that I've learned to appreciate from watching films at home here, is that as much as they censor swear words and offensive language, they never seem to do it in the same way. As far as I know, in England, they would, before a certain time, if there was a swear word, they would censor it by a beep or a buzz. So a person would say, what the fuck, and it would come out, what the bzzt, or what the bzzzt, or I can make horrible sounds all day. Nobody wants to listen to that, though. And it's actually part of the reason why I thought R2-D2 was a really obscene character in Star Wars for so long. I digress. But here in Egypt, there are several other ways that I've experienced censorship, and I'm going to share my 3 favourites. So this one I've actually experienced in other places as well, where it's, they will mute the film for the duration of just that word, and sometimes of course it overlaps and you miss a little bit, but usually it's quite good. So I'll use the example of close the fucking door. That would become close the... And it just, you know, that word. Of course, the music and any other audio is just completely blank for that second. And it always seems to get me to look up from my phone when that happens, because just a split second of confusion. But that one isn't so bad. That one's tolerable. The second way, or my second favourite way that I've experienced this censorship, is they will... You know those YouTube poop videos where they just splice together audio to make funny sentences? They'll do that just for the word that they want to censor. But they will take audio from the rest of the film, so it does sound like the same character is just like choking on water for part of their sentence. Again, I'll use the example of close the fucking door, and I'm gonna have to learn how to do shitty splicing for this. So close the fucking door would become close the fucking door. And of course, yes, sometimes it just sounds like the character is choked in the middle of their sentence, and that's very humorous to me, because sometimes it catches you off guard and you'll wonder if you've really heard it wrong, and then later on in the film, if it happens again, otherwise you just beat yourself up about it. At least I beat myself up about it for the rest of the night, wondering if it's just my imagination. And then there's my favourite of the censorship methods, is that they will use a computer-generated voice over the top of, like, they won't silence the audio at all, it'll keep going, and they'll just put a computer-generated voice saying a different word over the top of the actors. My favourite example for this one comes from, I was watching Spider-Man Homecoming on TV, and you know Flash taunts Peter throughout that movie by calling him Penis Parker. And they covered it up with him saying Puny Parker. With him saying Puny Parker, which is actually in the comics, I think. I digress. But because they used a computer-generated voice, it sounded like... because it's at the party when they're chanting, so it sounded something like, when I say
Puny
Parker,
Puny Puny,
and I died when I heard that. Like, my mother was like in a different room, and I just died in the living room, and she came over just like, what the hell's so funny? I didn't know how to articulate what I had just heard, but it was the best thing I had seen in so long. I'm gonna miss this. Not gonna miss the sand. And there you have it, 3 of my favourite censorship methods, and 3 reasons why I need to get a Netflix when I move to England. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, click the like button down below. Subscribe to my channel for more of this quality content in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.